Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. It's my face. Today, I have got 7, I think it's 7, it might be 8. I keep losing count if I'm being honest. 7 book journals from Amazon, right? So these are the, oh, you weren't able to get the Quirky Cup Collective book journal. And now you're like, well, I want to look at these ones and sort of see how it goes. First things first, we have, this one says For the Love of Books by Paper Peony Press, okay? Oh, it feels really nice. It has kind of this like embossed cover on it where you have the gold. So it says 116 pages, a ribbon page marker, a keepsake cloth cover, literary bucket list, daily reading tracker, and a borrowed/lent out list. So just from the get-go, I like the feel of the cover. It's very thin. It's only 116 pages. Okay, but let's just get into this. So we have For the Love of Books. We got a cover, cute little reminiscent of a seal. It's not actually a seal. And then, oh, I like this a lot already. So it is literally what it says it is, right? It's those 6 things really in terms of like what it sort of has. So the first thing I'm noticing is that it has this really cool reading tracker where it doesn't, you could, I suppose, write in like the number of pages that you wrote or read. Maybe write if you do that. But it's just a little check mark and it has the year. Because honestly, we love an undated reading tracker. And then we have the literary bucket list. So you have the title and then the author and if you want it, if you have it, and if you've read it. So that's really good. You've got a couple pages of that. And then you have the a couple of reading one reading challenge, which is the well-rounded reader checklist. So you have a variety of genres that you can put in, and you have the title, the author, and the rating. Okay, well, some of these are genres, and then they have like beach read, spiritual, and then you have books borrowed and, oops, books lent. After that, you have a bajillion pages for reviewing. So you have the book number, if you're tracking what number of the year it is. You have ebook, audiobook, hardback, and paperback as options. You get title, author, started on, finished on, length, rating, genre, and potentially who recommended it to you. You also have nonfiction or fiction, whether or not you liked the ending, and then a rating scale from 1 to 5 for plot, ease of reading, and your favorite character. There's also this side off here, right, where you can write your favorite quotes, you can write your review, and you can write what you would ask the author and whether or not you would recommend it. So pretty standard, not mad at that. So this is like 50 or so book reviews. So if you read less than 50 books a year, this could work for you, definitely. And I think that that's gonna be the standard. Next, we have a reading journal here. It just says read. This is designed by Tessa at The Lit Homebody. On the back, it says books are the plane and the train and the road. They are the destination and the journey. They are home. By Anna Quinlan. And there were lots of designs here. I chose sort of the most neutral one. And this is one of the, if not the thinnest of them. But let's just see. So when you open it up, you have this journal belongs to, and you have the same quote that was on the back. All right, I'm just like flipping it. Good. As usual, most of these are predominantly reading trackers, like writing just for the reviews. So this has a yearly tracker, a monthly wrap up, and then 100 pages of book reviews. and then it has some stuff at the end. So that's different than the For the Love of Books, because that one had all the things that weren't reviews at the beginning. So we have a yearly tracker. This one's just circles, and this one's nice because you can like color it yourself. And it lets you sort of set your goals as to where you want to end up. You also have monthly wrap-ups for each month. So January, February, you could draw the book, you could write the book, you could print out a picture. But there's also areas for you to track your stats. So how many books you read, which ones were 5 stars, what was your favorite book, and what was your most read genre. And you can also take note of books you want to read next month. And I like that because I have so many books that I want to read the next month. So there's going to be different regions, or like different elements of each book review. Like some things are similar in terms of like the date, the genre, the subject. This one has a cute little thing that's like, would you see the movie? Who was your favorite character? Who was your least favorite character, and why you read it? And how you felt after you finished it, which I think is cool. And so the last 3 pages in this are just a wish list, a DNF, and books that you lent out. So it's cute, it's thin, it's not terribly expensive, but you know, you also sort of, it comes with the territory that you're not getting, it's not hardcover, right? Which for me, I really wanted a hardcover. We have My Reading Life, a book journal. So this is created by Anne Bogle. First things first, the color, love the color. Oh, okay, I immediately like this. So in these first pages, it says when you began it. So it's not necessarily you start this at the beginning of the year, right? This is very interesting. I'm not sure, oh God. Why I'm saying oh God, oh God, oh God is because there's all of these blank things there, and I was very confused. What it is that you're gonna write your reviews and you can put your title there. Okay, so we're gonna have to flip through this more than usual. We have some introductions. So there's some list ideas. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Somebody wrote in this book, erased it, and returned it. The fuck? They didn't have good handwriting either. Okay, well, that's rude. Although I can see that they liked Float Plan and Thank You for Listening, which are 2 very good books. Okay, that's upsetting. So there's a page, it's a snapshot of like your reading life right now. You've got some reading habit trackers. Whichever. I'm so upset. So how to diagnose your reading taste. So what genres you enjoy, if you prefer character-driven books or plot-driven books, what interests you about a character, what kind of pacing do you appreciate. I'm so fucking upset that I bought this and someone had used it. Like, what the hell? So what's more important, a strong plot or beautiful lighting, or beautiful writing? What do you find interesting? Where do you want to go? What are your deal breakers? What is your reading life like right now? Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Boom. We've got book lists right now. Oh, no. No. I'm sorry. I flipped to the fantasy page, and anyone that puts the 10,000 Doors of January on their fantasy list, I'm just like, no, I immediately don't trust you anymore, because that's a white woman writing about a black woman's experience, and I'm just like, there's no, it just does not work. Even though they do include Children of Blood and Bone, Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, Kindred, and City of Brass. I'm not, okay. I'm already not a huge fan of this, this journal, but, okay, there are, I like the idea of having a list in there, right? So like, they've got genre lists, they also have seasonal selections, so like what you would pick maybe for to read during winter, spring or summer. Oh, okay, these are okay, so in winter it's like inspiring and practical books. In spring, it's Plant Lovers, although they do have Lab Girl by Hope Jahren on there, which I do like. Summer, books set by the water, and fall, spooky but not scary reads. They have Mexican Gothic on here, and I'm like, Mexican Gothic is scary. Maybe we just diverge in terms of taste. Okay, so now we have your TBR, which is simple. It's honestly, I think they're wasting some space here, because it's the title, the author, the date you put it on there, and why. And then we get into single page reviews. So this is a little bit different because in the previous ones, most of them were on 2 pages. And I'd say the nice thing about this is that there's enjoyment, craft, and overall ratings. In between all these reviews, they sort of break it up a little bit, and like tips for overcoming a reading rut, and a book club guide. Wonderfully discussable books. I have not read any of these. And I have a book club. We do mostly read smut though. Yeah, this is, okay. I think that this might be great for someone who's like just starting to learn, like to read, not someone who's like reading a bunch and doesn't need recommendations, because honestly, like, if you use Goodreads, you have a slew of them. Yes. Don't forget, drink water, hydrate. Oh, goddamn. Sometimes I forget how good water tastes. Okay, let's see. Let's grab another thin one. Oh, this is cute. Okay, so this one, it just says book journal on the front, but it is very decorative. All right, it's thin. I don't know if I like a thin book journal or not, but it's hardcover, and I do enjoy that. All right, and it's just plain and simple. Reading log. Okay, let's get into this. This is for someone, I think, who they like writing things down, all right? They like to log their books, and they're only gonna read 100 books, because this goes from 1 to 100. I just checked. And you can track all of the formatting things. You have a pretty ample space for review, although I don't like the paper. But you can also rate the plot, the characters, and the writing. And then it's literally just reviews the whole way through. All right, so that can be kind of fun, right? If that's all you want to do, then that's fine. Maybe you don't need all of the extra bits. Personally, I think I like the extra bits, but like this is very easy. It's thin to just toss in your bag with your books. When you update it, you write the review. You could even just print out your Goodreads review and just stick it right on in there. It's super easy and simple, but it's like nothing necessarily to write home about. Also, the copy I got is like, you can kind of see it. It has like these stains on it, and it was like that when I got it. I don't know who keeps returning these book journals, but I'm not a fan. This one I'm excited about just because, well, A, it's wrapped, so I'm hoping no one used it already. But, eek. So this is created by someone on YouTube, and specifically BookTube. So it was created by a reader for readers. We love that. So this was created by Hannah Azarong, who created, she's a clockwork reader on here, all right? You can track up to 100, okay, so it's a soft cover. You can see it's kind of like, woo, but it's pretty. It's foiled, and it does have good branding there. It says a clockwork reader, okay. Has the little elastic to keep it closed. So that's nice because that means that you could put in, oh, this paper feels nice already. It means you could put in stickers. Okay, so already I'm kind of a fan just because she put in like her doodles and things into it. It gives it a lot of personality, which I enjoy. Wow. So she gives you an example review that she wrote about The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which is a phenomenal book. I'm overwhelmed. I need to, she's like giving examples on how she uses the book, but I'm just trying to get to the part where you can actually write in it, right? All right, let's see. She gives lots of recommendations herself. Yeah, and these are good recommendations. Like anyone who recommends A Darker Shade of Magic for fantasy, I'm like, yes, check. Okay. So let's get into it. This looks like, that's the fun part. It looks like you drew this yourself, but you didn't, obviously. So you have like your favorite books, you can log the title and the author, and then there's these really pretty blossoms. We've got reading goals. So these could be potentially the books that you really want to read this year, like the 12 in 12 or 23 in 23, or like read 100 books or things like that. And you also have stats. So how many books you want to read, how many books you did read, the number of pages you read, your favorite genres, your favorite book, and your least favorite book. And then, I'm sorry, it's just really, really cute. This is like a little to be read list, and it reminds me of the library like cards that used to go in the back of books. And it's just title, author, date. Super simple. And it has a fair amount of room. It looks like it has enough for about 100 books. And then, oh, perfection. What to read next. Gil is so tired of me asking him what to read next. So some options here, they give you prompts. And so the prompts are read a book published in the year you were born. Okay, I was born in 1993. Like, books were not that great back then. Read a translated book. Read a book with a movie or TV adaptation. Read a new book by one of your favorite authors. A book from a genre that you rarely read, one that's recommended by a friend, an author's debut book, or the next book in a series you haven't finished yet. Those are pretty solid recommendations. All right, now we get into the review. All right, so we have the title, author, boom. I love this, we haven't seen this so far. The narrator, if it's an audiobook, okay. Format, stars, and then you can track when you started, when you finished, the genre, number of pages, who it was recommended by. Pretty solid. Then there's some questions. So what was your favorite quote? Where were you when you read this book? Most memorable scene. Would you recommend it? What did you learn? And then you have this blank space where you could actually write your real review, which I think she showed earlier. You could also just do some lettering, right? And then there's just 100 pages of that. So we just flip through a whole bunch of pages. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. A spot to track your favorite authors. We love, okay? And there's a lot of those. Like, I'd say 20 authors or so. You can track your favorite quotes. That does not look like an F, that looks like an S. That looks like you're saying your favorite quotes. And then you can write the book and the author as well. And then, oh my God, these pages are just a little bit sticky. Like how we had the TBR, you have the most anticipated, which is something you definitely, I always need to track. Books to reread. I wouldn't use that personally. And then your favorite childhood books. That's so cute. And keep going. Book to screen adaptations. So this is kind of like, you could either, I think this is for when you watch the movie, but it could be when you read the book. Your favorite movies, your favorite TV shows. Oh my gosh, there's so much in here. Ooh, a reading playlist. So she gives her reading playlist, but also gives you a place to write down your music in case, you know, maybe you listen to an album rather than like a Spotify playlist. You can keep track of where you get your books. Oh my God. Shop indie when you can. If you like audiobooks, use LibroFM and link it to your favorite indie bookstore. You can also track your favorite bookish creators. Maybe I go in here. Huh? I think this is my favorite so far. If only because it feels the most catered to people who like actually read already, and it has like the areas for your bookish creators and your favorite bookshops and stuff, and it felt more personalized than the others did, even though like she did the drawings in there herself, right? It's not like you were drawing them. It felt the most artsy, I think, in my opinion. That's all. Next, we have another one just called Reading Journal. It's a good name. What can I say? This one came the fastest, I will say, out of all my Amazon orders. This one was here in like 2 days. First of all, a day spent reading will never be wasted. Accurate. This is the first journal that's had the shelf where you can like color things in. The downside is that this paper is like extremely thin, so it's gonna bleed. Like literally I can see the print from the previous page on the paper without any light. So that's like not great. Ooh, but we're getting a bunch of new stuff, which is great. We have some top 10 lists, so like top 10 couples, top 10 series, top 10 tropes. Feels like I'm on David Letterman. And then there's a lot of top 10 lists that you can just do. Okay, these are freaking cute. If you use maybe colored pencils would be a good fit for this, not highlighters. But there's a little book cart and then recommendations to remember. And there's 2 pages of those, okay. Ooh, okay. You have a wish list, which is cool, but it also includes the retailer that you want to buy it from. I like that a lot. This is literally actually generic, which I like. So these are reading trackers, right? What you would do is you would track based on the month, right? But the month is actually blank, rather than the ones that have like really just like start in January. This is making me want to make my own book journal, honestly. And you can color code based on how many pages you read, which is fun. A whole bunch of pages for the reading log. Only goes up to 5 stars, but it's just like, that's sort of plain and simple. You just go boom, boom, boom. As you know, we just flip. We flip and we flip and we flip. Okay, so we have some reviews. This is as basic as it gets in terms of a review. It's just like paper. It's just paper. It's just lines. But it's interesting how there's 2 different formats, right? So these are like big reviews where you have a lot of thoughts, okay? There are some books where you don't always have a lot of thoughts, and that's okay. For those ones, you have a smaller bit. And here, that's a quote, and it's like half a page. Sure. And then it just repeats. So that's not terrible. I don't hate that. There's a page for just your bookish thoughts, which I don't really know what that means. And then you have a TBR tracker and a monthly wrap up. So this is definitely, I feel like, for the casual reader, right? Where you're not reading 20 books a month or something, because I mean, that's honestly true about all of these, right? Is that like, if you read more than 8 to 10 books a month, you're going to run out of space in the thing. But this was fast, and I liked that it was fast. And I do quite enjoy the cover. I think the cover is fun. The reading journal, as opposed to all of the other journals that we've had. It's Kunitsa Co. That's this specific one. I don't know if that's the brand of the journal, but there's a page at the beginning just says belongs to. It's kind of like an off-white color in terms of the paper. Oh, we have an index. The bullet journaler in me is so happy we have an index. So they have certain pages that they've done in terms of books to read, books finished, favorite books, DNFs, books lent and borrowed, and then 100 pages of book reviews. Then they have some extras with a daily reading tracker, a reading challenge, a draw-in book stack. Yes! Okay, so first things first, we have our... Oh, okay, this daily reading tracker, this is more than 1 year. That's the first time we've seen that. And actually, so this is potentially 2 years worth of reading on this page. Okay, it's a bookmark, but I thought it was toilet paper. How many books you challenge yourself to read that year, and then you color in the bookmark based on that. And okay, we've got a TBR list. This one's nice and plain, which I like. Again, we have extremely thin paper. You can see through the paper. Not a fan. What's weird is that you have 3 duplicate pages of this bookmark. I feel like you should only have 1. And then you have still like 6 pages of the books to read, which is great because I have a lot of books I want to read, but not great in some other stacks or senses. Okay. You've also got this books finished section with a color, you can color in the books on this page. The bright side, this has 20, this has 20, so they would correspond with one another. Downside, I read more than that. So they give you 3 book stacks, okay? You only get 3 of this page. And then they still give you a whole bunch of extra room for if you read more books, which is nice. You have like an extra 100 to 150 books on this. So they are trying to cater to people who read a little bit more. I respect that. Okay. Favorite books. For me, I wouldn't really use that as much because my favorite books I buy and then I put them on my shelf. Or they're sitting in my Amazon wish list for other people to buy. And then a whole bunch of DNF pages. I do like how minimal it is, right? Like I can make this fun in my own way by adding colors or lettering or whatever, but I don't have to. So basic. It's just so basic. Got books lent out, books borrowed. I like it. Now I like it. So here's why I like it. It's because it's dot grid. The other ones were lined or blank. We had not seen a dot grid yet. Now, is it like the best? No, I don't know. Because the thing is that like in my book journal, I don't really write down my reviews anymore. I write my reviews on like Goodreads or Storygraph. But it's still cute. It's just I can't get over the paper. Ooh, we got some ribbon bookmarks though. I like that. I like that. But it is nice to get a 2-page spread for every single book rather than it breaking it into like quarters or something. And then we just flip. We just go right through. We're like books and books and books and books and books. Huh. Okay, this is interesting. Tips and sample layouts. I haven't seen that before. Now, admittedly, if you need to have it explained to you how to use a journal, then I don't think that the journal is doing its job. But it's saying sort of like how you can use this is like you track all the books that you want to read and then you go back to that page when you actually need to read a new book. It's almost like that's the concept of a TBR, even though we frequently ignore it. Yeah, there's nothing like really great about it. It does have some extra dot grid paper at the end if you want to do your own reading challenges, which I think that is fun personally. My takeaways from this entire experience are that none of these book journals would work for me personally. I like having room to put in my own things, right, and personalizing it to myself. For the most part, paper quality, not my fave. Which I'm a huge paper snob though, so like that's probably why. But I do think that each of these journals brings something new and different even between them, right? Whether it's having extra pages at the end or a stack challenge that you can color in, or having room to talk about movies and books to people that you like. It's all very nice. So which one is my favorite? I don't know, there's so many. I think it's not this one, because that one was pre-loved. My favorite one is probably The Clockwork Reader, just because it felt the most different. I feel like all of these ones were like the same, but I think I definitely want to experiment more, right? And potentially do another roundup video with more planners that are sort of more catered to people who are like really reading and really getting into it. So I wanna get I think what Always Fully Booked is one, and the Quirky Cup Collective. So let me know if you liked this video and if you want me to do a follow-up. The thing is that as the journals get more specific, they also get more expensive. So that's where we're at. But If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. We are on our quest to 1K, so please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my videos, and happy reading!